Trunk rubber is not the way it goes on a 52 Buick. That's installed wrong. And there's total of four separate pieces of rubber that seal the trunk on this, and they have one that's not on there right. That's not the way the rubber went. There's some other things that here too, like the bead between the fender here. You can't see it on this camera, but it's wavy. I mean, it's up and down, going all the way across. The other side's all right, but this side's all, somebody didn't get it tucked in there right or something. And they're going to charge you for all their quality control and I mean all their, they swore to me that every step of the way this car would be inspected and everything was going to be installed the way it was originally, and this is what I another thing I noticed too on the glove box door. There's an arm that comes down and comes from this slot down into this slot, and it gets screwed through this, attached to the glove box door, and it lets the glove box door swing halfway down, and then it stops. And they didn't put the arm on. Probably lost it because they didn't return it to me. They're supposed to get all the lights working, and not all of them work. This is the passenger door, front door, and they did the trim on this the same way. It's up underneath the armrest. You can see it right there. I mean, no doubt about it. And on the other end, you can see it should have started at the door panel. Should have started back here. One of the biggest mistakes I made in my life was taking my car there and letting them work on it. But I'm just glad it's out of there. Originally they told me when I first went in there that this car would only take 6 months to do, and it was there for 2 years. You can check their website and see that. It was, and all it was basic, was a little bit of body work, paint, put the trim back on, and they put new glass in it. But all I heard was, we're sorry, took so long. I just heard a lot of excuses, which professionals, they don't use excuses that I'm aware of, I worked on precision instruments in the service. I worked on them and calibrated them, and all I can say is, if we did this kind of work in the Navy, half the Navy ships wouldn't float. I mean, one of the other things that you might be interested in seeing is these are the parts they returned to me. These two things here are the defroster deflectors, which go underneath the trim, under the front and inside inside trim about the lower windshield, and that diverts the air from your defroster blower. Here is the cover that was up underneath the dash showing you that covers the heater core for the defroster that they didn't put back on. This might be part of the problem. The radio doesn't work. Here's the actual antenna wire that runs up underneath the trim, inside windshield, up to that roof mount antenna. They sent that back to me. There's many rubber pieces in here. The reason I'm not sure if they have I'll bet money on it that the weather strip on all the doors is wrong too, because installed wrong, because right here is you can see it says weather strip rear door lower. And it's not on the door. It says Cadillac on it, but Cadillac and Buick have the same bodies. So here's the rubber rings for around the headlamp seals. Gaskets for this is the gaskets for the taillights. Go around the taillight housing to the body. Guess they're not on. These are the gaskets for the front parking lights. Guess they're not in there. These are for the license plate light in the rear. Never been opened. Just send them back to me. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know what this goes to. They sent this back to me. It's probably off of some guy's car. Because they're good about losing parts. They lost all my, I had the headlight hinges in a 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot square box with big letters that said 1952 Buick on it, and somehow the whole box come up missing. But evidently this is some poor guy's car that's there, that's missing a part that they sent with these extra parts back to me. So, I mean, to me that's carelessness, you know. I mean, you're putting cars, you know, antique cars together, especially this car, been in my family for 60 years. That's just plain carelessness. You know, somebody's probably looking for that part. Other things they did too is I left them the original service manual for this car and a CD. So there's no doubt how things went back together. I mean, the CD had all the body parts, and they were identified on the CD or DVD or whatever. But anyway, I never got that CD back. You know, something they didn't send back to me. But here's the fresh air vent covers that I showed you underneath the dashboard, where the holes were. Here's the covers for them they didn't put on.